Hello and welcome to another short mindfulness session with me, Billy. In today's video we're going to talk about observing thought. Now for many people, switching off that internal voice, that thinking mind can be quite tricky, and it can cause issues like fixations, rumination, really blowing a thought, problem, memory out of proportion. And it can lead to anticipating what people are thinking, predicting possible consequences regardless of how important, how likely or unlikely they are, and generally having a negative impact on their mental health. And that fixating on these problematic thoughts can just simply get worse the longer you stay within them. For instance, I can hold this glass with absolute ease, no problem there at all. But if I was to then continuously hold this for a few hours, my wrist, my grip, my hand, my arm will start to ache and there'll be a bit of strain. Now, the weight of this glass won't change, but it's that continuous effort which will add to the strain and make things worse. And the same can obviously be said for thoughts and thinking. And through mindfulness and other things we've spoke about in previous videos, that can help to put those thoughts down and let them go, which in itself can help you come back with a fresher perspective and deal with them in a much better fashion. But those thoughts can often be too intrusive and too loud, and therefore get in the way and disrupt this practice. My initial tip would be try different mindful approach, something with a bit more structure, a bit more focus, a bit like a body scan or archery. A lot of focus, a lot of routine, a lot of process. It's very good for you. But even then, those thoughts can penetrate that. Those thoughts can get in the way and disrupt it all. Now, there's another element of mindfulness which can help tackle this. That is by taking that observing, non-judgmental awareness of mindfulness and applying that to thoughts, to thought itself, and in doing so, take the emotional weight off it. A good analogy could be, imagine in your head all these thoughts, these worries, doubts, whatever, racing around and round, becoming louder and quicker and more disruptive and becoming a bit of a hurricane. Chances are your perspective is blowing around with the storm, smashing into things and really stuck in there. Now, if you opt out of that autopilot and take a conscious effort to move that perspective into the calm, relaxed center of the storm, the eye of the hurricane, and observe the thoughts almost as if it's coming from somewhere else, in an objective way, that can help to, again, take that emotional weight out of it and actually calm the storm itself, easing your mind. Now, to do this in practice, if you set 15, 20 minutes or however long you want, where you're not going to be disrupted, which is, I appreciate, hard during these times, but if you find that time, relax, and just it could be a good idea to practice a bit of mindful breathing, getting yourself into that headspace, or some other mindful practices which I've spoke about in previous videos, and we'll mention some in some future ones. Get into that relaxed, aware mindset, and then just wait for a thought to spring up, to come past you, get into your field of vision like a cloud floating by in the sky, and resist that urge to deal with the thought, to judge it, to get swept up in it, to think it's right or wrong, or any emotions. He said, she said, she did that. Oh my goodness, I did this. Avoid that, and just instead of that, notice the structure of the thought. Notice what that thought brings up, how interconnected it is, what emotions it is. Just taking an objective view, an objective awareness of the structure of the thought. Don't think, oh, am I doing this right? Am I doing this wrong? Have I taken too long on this thought? Have I just breezed through it? Those are active thoughts. Those are the things we're not exactly avoiding, but we're not getting involved in. Not right now. Again, just focus on the structure. Some thoughts might be too repetitive, too big and repetitive, and that is a common trait. And mindfulness can help tackle that. A bit of breathing can help you take that step down. But also there's something called EcoTalk, and that is by voicing out what that repetitive statement is, by speaking it out. It doesn't work for everybody. It doesn't work in all situations, but it might have quite an interesting effect. I'm not going to tell you about it. I want you to try it yourself. It can help you then take that step back and that perspective and observe the thought better. Now, if you find yourself getting swept up in these thoughts, getting sucked back up into the hurricane, notice it, realize that you've got there. There's no right or wrong way of doing it, but take a nice deep breath and then take that step to get back into the center of the storm. I find this visualization of a hurricane, a storm, helpful. And just picture yourself getting back into the center of it, relax, and looking up at all these thoughts flying by. And if another thought takes one thought's place, again, just do the same thing. Notice it, look at the structure, see what connects to it, other thoughts, memories, emotions, taking that observant, objective view of it. You might find gaps between thoughts. If you do, allow it. Don't feel the need to fill it, to sort it out, but also at the same point, don't feel pressure to fill that void. Enjoy it. It's that mindless, thoughtless frame of mind, which is very common in mindfulness. And that's when you can observe thought even better without the impact of ego. Just enjoying that frame of mind with no intention, no purpose really, no judgment, no need to understand, analyze, criticize, go over, mull over, just awareness of your body, your breathing, and observing thought. And if you then go back to another thought, if another thought does crop up, just follow it. Don't feel a need to remain in that mindful frame of mind. Just enjoy it. Now, this, like any other mindful practice, is individualistic. What works for one person might not work for any other person. Mindful breathing might work better than mindful walking. Some may need that more focused, honed in thing. But the more you practice this observing of thought or any other mindful practice, the better you'll get, and the quicker you'll get, the more of a habit you'll pick up for it, and the quicker you'll be able to get into this mindful frame of mind. Today's session has been a bit more descriptive than my usual walkthrough kind of approach. That's because observing thought is particularly individualistic, particularly personal. I cannot anticipate how the storm will go for you, how long it'll last, if and when there'll be gaps in your thoughts. I can't do all that through a video, but hopefully this has helped you to find your own way of doing it. Please leave a comment if this has helped, how you found it. Let me know if you tried that EcoTalk and how that went. Next video, I will go on a short mindful walk with you. We'll see how that goes. But until then, stay safe, shoot straight, and I'll see you afterwards. Bye-bye.